we backed up to preschool. We did not have pre-kindergarten component in the earlier school. So we have that now. We wanted to start earlier. We are a member of the Council of Independent Black Institutions, which has some 40 school membership across the nation. And most of them start with preschool, so we were not doing that. So we decided to do that to start earlier with our children.
During the 1987-88 school year, how many students were enrolled at Aisha Shule?
42.
Would you say that the number of students in schools and the public school systems throughout the United States makes those type of situations unmanageable? Yes,
I would say that. I would say, I'm often asked, what can be done in the Detroit public schools? Is it impossible? And I say, no, it's not impossible. Reorganization, certainly. And the schools have to be broken down into smaller units. It's inhumane to put that many people, that many children, with those few teachers into one building. They're holding situations. They're not halls of learning anymore. They're just holding institutions.
Over the years, how many students have you serviced?
Oh, maybe 2,000. Because we not only have the day school throughout the school year, but we have after-school programs, we have Saturday programs, we have summer programs. So in 12 years, I'd say maybe more than 2,000.
How do students compare who have graduated from the Shule with students who have gone through the public school systems or other private schools?
Most of them are very strong politically. They're also strong academically, and it has something to do with them being self-assured. Their self-esteem is intact. They are least likely to lose sight of who they are, and they are more likely to be able to pursue a goal. I think pursue a goal, because we insist that that be a value: self-determination, task attainment, goal completion. Those are the things, and they also develop desire and a love for learning. I think they know where to find information. They receive a lot of information, and they find when they go back into other schools that what they're given does not measure up to what they already know, and they are able to give other people citations about where this information comes from, what should be said, what should be taught, what should be done. That sometimes makes it uncomfortable for the student. A worthy teacher is proud when the student outgrows the teacher. And a worthy teacher, I think, is also a student all of the time. We'll never live long enough to learn all of the things that we need to know. At least I won't. There are so many things. Knowledge is so endless that as soon as you discover one thing, you're on to something else. And that's what we try to teach the children. This is not it. This is not, third grade information is not enough for you. This doesn't mean anything. There's just a vast body of information out there for you to pursue.
What are the areas that you currently provide instruction in?
All of the CB schools have the curriculum divided into five major categories.
CB is what, again, you mentioned it earlier.
Yes, Council of Independent Black Institutions.
Okay.
That is communications, which is what some people call language arts, but we go a little beyond that. Communications includes all of the language arts, but also analytical thinking. Language arts being reading, writing, handwriting, penmanship, literature, study of literature, and
public speaking.
Yes, public speaking, debate, all of that. Math. We begin to deal with what is considered higher math at an early age. The young mind can really handle a lot of information, and we try to give it to our children in a sequential, palatable way so that they will absorb it and hold on to it. But they do geometry and algebra very early. Science, particularly the life sciences, astronomy, anthropology. We dabble in archaeology. We do as many things as possible to advance the thinking skills, expand the knowledge base of the children that we have. We have foreign languages, we have music, drama, African dance, karate, swimming. Did I leave out anything? We have full, well-rounded curriculum.
Two questions very quickly. First, there's various rituals and protocol that you use at the Shule. Can you very briefly tell us about some of those?
We begin every day at the Shule with an African affirmation. We begin with the children announcing who they are. Identity is very important. This self-assurance that I talked about and self-esteem that the child leaves there with is based in their identity. And every morning, every child and every teacher gets up and says, as a strong African child, I pledge to be positive and respectful. And that's their identity stated in a very positive way. There's some more to that. We come together as a family. We are family-oriented at the Shule. One of the reasons why they address their teachers as Mama and Baba. In addition to that being titles of respect out of the Kiswahili culture. We give praise together when we eat. We have children of various religious backgrounds in the Shule. We have Christians, Muslims, Hebrew children. We have a Buddhist family. We have people there who are a-religious. And so we try to do things. We do, our parents acknowledge that they do accept the concept that there is a creator. And so we address our thanksgiving to this creative force. Okay, we have 1 minute left. Can you tell us, you took a trip to Kemet last year. Can you tell us how that affected you as an educator? I certainly can. Kemet is a history book, a divine history book. And I'm going back again next year because I just looked at the preface. I didn't even get to the first chapter. It's a spiritual experience. I recommend it for all teachers. Somehow, every teacher, especially teachers who are of African heritage, who teach black children, every teacher needs to go to Kemet. There's irrefutable evidence that it is an African culture, ancient, antique, and classical, that it was fostered and generated by our ancestors. I have this fantasy that I discuss with my family that if I had the money, the wherewithal, I would take planes full of young black people to Kemet every year. I would just take one load over there, we'd do the tour, bring them back, take another one, bring them back. I believe that if we could do that, it would change totally their self-concept of who we are and what we're doing here, what we must do, what our identity is. If people would like to join with you in this struggle for the redemption of the minds of African children, how can they contact you? They can contact me by visiting or calling the Shule. The Shule number is 867-4444. We are located in Highland Park in the YMCA Annex. Okay, and again the phone number? Phone number is 867-4444. Thank you very much. And the public is welcome. Thank you. We've been speaking with Imani Humphrey, the Academic Director of Aisha Shule. Thank you. Thank you. Are we all in here? Are we all?
Dr. Asa Hilliard, would you please explain to us what is meant by the African worldview?
Well, every group of people that shares usually physical space and earns their living in the same way usually develop a lot of common experiences, and those common experiences come together and cause them to have a worldview, a way of looking at things that makes them unique, because they become like habit patterns. They're very deep habit patterns, and you can always usually tell, or usually you can tell the worldview of the people best by looking at someone who's very different. And then it shows the patterns in the worldview that you have. And so an African worldview is clearly nothing more than the way of life that has been developed